it's Roy from We Know Gamers. I'm here with Brian Martel, Chief Creative Officer at Gearbox for Borderlands 2. So, I got a chance to play the game. I'm a huge fan of the first one. Tell us a bit about sort of the new features that you've got and just about people who haven't played the first one. Tell us a bit about the game.
Well, for those that haven't played it, we're a role-playing game that's also a shooter, so we call that an RPS, a role-playing shooter. So in the first game, we really introduced this art style that's sort of a graphic novel art style that's sort of reminiscent of French comic books like Mobius and that kind of thing. It's like our concept art come to life. This time what we're doing is we have, after the vault was open in the first game, we have this arch nemesis, sort of Handsome Jack, who is trying to get rich from all the stuff that kind of came out of the first vault. He's trying to find a second vault and you're trying to thwart him. So he's the nemesis throughout the game.
Alright, so you've got great artwork, great art style, and great characters. Now, in the last game you had different characters than in this game. So I'd like to know a bit more about these characters that are in this game, and also, do you get to see a bit more of their backstory? Because in the first one you didn't really, so do we get to delve into that? Yeah,
in this game we'll get to a little bit of more information about the characters that you actually play, and you'll get a little bit of that information as you play. But we also have the player characters from the first game become NPCs in this game, and so they are critical to the storyline in the second game, and so that's really nice too, because we get to know a lot more about them and how they fit into the world and what they're doing, so that's really exciting. But yeah, so you want me to maybe talk a little bit about the characters themselves, because we have Axton, who's the commando, who's an upgraded soldier. We have another siren, which is a real integral part of our universe. They're sort of the magic users of the genre, if you will, the sirens. And so that is Maya this time, and she's got a really cool ability to lock creatures down. We've expanded the idea of the berserker into the gunzerker this time, and we have that in Salvador. He's really fun to play because he dual wields and all that stuff. And then we have a crazy kind of assassin character who there's a lot of mystery about him and what is he all about. So.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so you mentioned sort of briefly about their individual abilities. I mean, when I used to play the Siren, one of my favourite abilities was sort of phasing in and out.
Yeah.
Especially when she phased out, you could have this ability of just flames coming out of her wings, and that was great. So in this game, do we see more of that? Is it more expanded in sort of the things you can customize?
Yeah, it's very different what she does this time. Instead, each Siren has their abilities are very different. They kind of each can kind of look at sort of the dark energy, the stuff that ties the universe together, and they're able to do something with that. And that's sort of why in the first game, Lilith could kind of phase walk in between the different dimensions, if you will. And then when she came out of that, she was able to do something that was sort of destructive. In this case, we have Maya, who she phase locks somebody. So she uses the same kind of ability to lift somebody up out of the fight, basically, and then everybody can attack them, or they can focus on all the other creatures that remain. And so it's really nice the way that they kind of combine with her capabilities.
So in terms of sort of the quests of the game and sort of length as well, and also the environment.
Right.
I mean, in the last game, you'd had to do a lot of travelling between on foot or in vehicles.
Sure.
So are there any sort of vehicles this time? I didn't see any in the demo, but...
yeah, in the demo you didn't get a chance to see them.
Yeah.
But Scooter makes an appearance, and some of his family members make an appearance in the game. You can see some of that in the trailer if you look closely. You might find his sister in there. So what's really fun is they play a role in the game. So you have the original vehicle, the runner, which makes an appearance back. We've put a lot of effort in how it drives. It's a much better driving experience than the first time. And we've added a new vehicle called the Technical. It is a four-wheel drive, pickup truck looking thing, but something that the bandits have sort of put crazy stuff all over, and the weapons that they have are very different than the first game. But you also can you can drive that one, and all 4 players can ride in that one. So that's a nice improvement for folks that are playing co-op.
And what about in the last game as well? You could change the colours and stuff. Did you delve deeper into vehicle customization at all? Yeah,
we did that throughout the whole of the game. I mean, whether it's characters or whether it's vehicles or whatever, you see a lot more of that kind of capability. So we put a lot of effort there. Yeah, so the vehicles get a lot more customizability, but not a lot of add-ons and that kind of thing, but more like the colors and the paint schemes, and they're a lot more robust than they were before.
And again, with customization, what about the characters? I mean, last time you could customize colors and things like that. How about this time?
Yeah, this time, you know, you can just do a few things with the body in the first game, right? So you just change a little bit of colors. This time we have a lot more of the primary, secondary, and tertiary colors, so it's a lot more expansive. Then we've added things like sort of decals on top of that, logos and other things, so that kind of fits in there. So you can really get maybe a character or that really is, you know, your favorite weapon, and you can kind of go and find that one and like, cool, I get to go and be the Tediore character class or character out skin of that particular character. So then the heads, we have a lot of changes in the heads so that you have different hairstyles and hats and all these kind of things. Even some of the faces actually change based on whichever character you pick. So it's really kind of fun. Yeah.
Cool. And so Borderlands is also very well known for its extensive weapon system.
Right.
And randomization
Sure.
and stuff, and you can have so much fun with that. So have you refined it a bit? Have you changed it up, or is it the same?
Yeah, so we really expanded on this. I mean, is obviously a huge portion of our game. So what we wanted to do was make sure that when you see a weapon class, a weapon manufacturer, that you were thinking, oh, I can tell exactly what manufacturer that is, you know, based on its silhouette, maybe its color scheme or whatever. And so we played around with the color schemes based on the rarity as well. So if you really look, you can kind of get a lot of information just by seeing the weapon on the ground before you even do the inspector on it. Then we put a lot of effort into the scopes, sight posts, and that kind of stuff. You know, like for example, in the environment we see a lot of these sort of holographic signs and that kind of thing. Even some of the sight posts now use the same technology there. So we've really tied the universe together in those respects. But it's just, it's huge. Like Tediore is an awesome example of that, where we have sort of emergent things kind of happen based in production. So we had this idea of these Tediore weapons, and they were going to be this manufacturer that's disposable. They're plastic, they're like, you use them once, throw them away. Well, what that ended up doing was like, well, what do we do when we throw them away? That's kind of boring. So one of the guys had the idea, it's like, what if we made them into grenades? And so that became this other piece of gameplay where you can decide, look, I'm only going to use one round, and then the rest of the ammo adds to the explosion capability of the weapon when you throw it away or reload or whatever. And so it's really nice in that respect. So awesome manufacturing.
Okay, and lastly, how about the environment? I mean, the last game it was quite sparse.
Yeah.
There wasn't very much going on. Yeah. How about in this game? Have you changed it up a bit based on user feedback?
Yeah, so in the last game we were in some small portion of Pandora, and it was obviously the desert area, and there was the mud coast, which had all the trash stuff and all that kind of stuff. And then we went into the mountains and we saw some snow. Well, we've really expanded the snow areas. And then we have like some tundra, we have some grasslands, we have basically just a ton of different stuff. So we've been joking around that we finally discovered the color green, but we've really made a very colorful world. Jeremy Cook, who's the art director, has really taken this game and just pushed it forward as far as the art direction goes. And I think people are really going to be excited about the new areas that they can play in.
Oh, cool, that's great. So is there a release date for Borderlands 2?
Yeah, September 21st.
Okay, cool. So you can look back for Borderlands 2, September 21st. Check back at wenogamers.net for more news and reviews. See you later.